Hey everyone, I'm Kev and welcome to this week's Draw Along. This week we're going to be drawing He-Man, as the boys looked at the 2012 DC Comics version of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. I thought, why not draw He-Man? So, let's get started. Okay, to start with, we're going to start with the blue line figure as usual. I started off drawing this a bit too big, so the great thing about digital drawing is I can reduce the size of the image, like I have done here. And I'll just start with my stick figure, and then I'll go in and start bulking him out. So with He-Man, I wanted to get his sword in the air so he can do the I have the power shout, but I couldn't get the sword fully in with my initial drawing, so I needed to reduce the size of the character. I went for a wider stance as well. And now on the screen I've put up the muscles, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So now we'll get into the muscles. So with this red line I started drawing the musculature of the character. He-Man is obviously a very bulky character, and for those who are not used to drawing muscles, kind of think of drawing them like balloons. So when you start drawing your muscles, just draw these circular shapes like I've done here, and then you can go away and erase lines afterwards. I always find legs kind of difficult to do, but again with this method, drawing out the musculature makes it much easier to do. And add in some more guidelines. I wanted him to be shouting. I kind of took the picture from the 80s cartoon. I'll stick that up on the screen here now. And I wanted to just make it a little bit more epic. I don't think I've made it overly epic, but I wanted a wider stance and tightening his grip in his left hand. Now I've gone on to I've skipped a bit here. So what I did before, I just went in and added where his clothing. Well, I say clothing, it's He-Man. He's not really wearing much clothing. Okay, so moving on to the inking stage. When it comes to inking the muscle outlines, I'm just kind of picking what I want to outline. I'm not going over the full circles that I've done with the red crayon. And again, whenever you're inking, think about where your light source is coming from. So if it's coming from above the character, the line should be thicker underneath. So like the chin line, or say like this tricep line here, would be thicker if the light is coming from above. Vice versa, if it's coming from below, the bicep line would be the thicker line. Okay, as usual, whilst we're just going through this inking stage, let's do some facts about the character himself, He-Man. So, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was created by Mattel Toyline in 1981. Mattel created the Masters of the Universe line as they passed up the opportunity to license and produce the Star Wars action figures. He-Man is the main character in the Masters of the Universe toy line. Prince Adam, He-Man's alter ego, was endowed with the power to transform into He-Man, which he did by raising his power sword and proclaiming,
"By the power of Grayskull,
with his allies, the Masters of the Universe, He-Man fights to protect Castle Grayskull and the planet of Eternia from the evil Skeletor." Okay, so back to the drawing though. Now I'm doing the colours. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the flats. So the flat colours are exactly what it sounds like, just flat colours. There's no tone added to it yet, no shadows, no highlights or anything like that. This is just a way to see what are the base colours of my character going to be. And you can do this, this is the best thing to do with digital colouring with any drawing that you are doing. You can also do this with painting and pencil crayons as well, if you just want to get the base light colours down first and then go in with your shadows and highlights. And once I've done that, what I'm going to do is open up another layer. So I'm going to copy this layer, the colour layer, and I'm going to paste it on top. And now this is where I go in adding my shadows and stuff. When doing digital colouring, I don't like to work all on one layer. I like to make copies of layers just in case I mess up and I need to go back to that original layer and I don't want to recolour everything. So I go in kind of with these hard shaped shadows first. Before I start, what I'll start to do is I'll start to blend it out. And add another little tone to the image as well, to the skin colour, which will help with the blending stage. And then I go in with some highlights as well. So there's my highlights for the skin. Always find painting metal kind of difficult. There's some great people out there who are excellent at painting, making metal look metal. Going with the hair, just adding this tone. And there we go, I'm going in with the blending. So on Procreate we got this blending tool. If you can see that little finger in the top corner, in the top highlighted in blue. I'm just going to blend out the colours now so it looks a bit more natural and less cartoony. Still adding little shades of colour where I need to add little shades of colour as well. This blending kind of gives it a little sort of like an airbrush effect as well. So I'm going to do the backgrounds now. So I use a spray paint brush. And now I'm going, so what I'm doing now is I'm using an add layer. So an add layer is a bright light, is like a lighter layer to show the light. So what I wanted was the light to kind of be reflecting off him. Going in with that lightning luminance brush. Again, if you use Procreate, you can get these luminance brushes and add in a lightning bolt there. And there we go, He-Man has the power. Just finishing touches, little bits of shine. And there we have it, He-Man, the master of the universe. So, next week, it's the herd's choice. So please get your choices in. And what we'll do, we'll put them in a bag. And then I'll do like a live draw on Instagram at the weekend, most probably, I think. So, again, if you're drawing along, please tag me in the pictures and tag the Nerd Herd in the pictures. And until next time, keep drawing. Bye-bye.